I am amazed that God could use a Carroll County farm boy like me to accomplish the things it has been my privilege to do," Harold Gardner once remarked. "I will soon be 85 years old and look back upon my life with grateful satisfaction and amazement." Born in 1923 to Jenny and Richard Gardner, a farming couple, Harold met his future wife Lottie Suter in a first-grade classroom in tiny Worthville, Kentucky. The pair never dated, however, until Harold returned from service in the United States Navy during World War II. The couple married in 1950, while Harold was completing his divinity training at Asbury Theological Seminary. Soon they would embark on an active ministry of 42 years. Harold can still recall his meeting with church elders when he came before them to explain his call to the ministry. Only slightly paraphrasing the words of a familiar gospel song, he declared from the bottom of his heart, "I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, and wonder why he would call me, a sinner condemned unclean." During his 4-decade-long ministry, Harold pastored churches in Newcastle, Berea, Irvine, Versailles, Maysville, Danville, Lakeside Park, and Georgetown. Recognized on the conference level as someone willing to tackle difficult issues and bring them to a meaningful resolution, Harold in 1985 was appointed to be a district superintendent. He served the Covington district for 6 years in this capacity. Among Harold's myriad accomplishments for the Kentucky Annual Conference was his leadership role in securing a funded pensions program and the first health insurance program and a new method for local church apportionments. Harold also served for 5 years as executive director of the Area Commission on Higher Education and Campus Ministry. In that capacity, he led in the creation of the Kentucky United Methodist Foundation, which now reports more than $34 million in assets. In spite of the many positions of confidence and trust Harold has shouldered, he has never been too busy to mentor younger colleagues. He always makes time to listen, talk, and encourage. As one of his many admirers has written, Harold was a miracle worker in many young preachers' lives. Pastor friend Owen Dolan echoes that sentiment when he declares, "If there was one person that I wanted to pattern my ministry after, it was Harold Gardner." Those of us who love Wesley Village know the indispensable role Harold played in its creation and infancy, most notably in the 6 years he served as chairman of the board of directors of the village. We could have had no better advocate. As I reflect back upon my life and ministry, Harold recently recalled, "My greatest privilege was to have had a part in the founding of Wesley Village. I confess that I may even be guilty of the sin of pride when I look at this wonderful full-service retirement community and realize that I had a part in its beginning and development." Harold and his wife Lottie lived at the village for several months in 2001, until her declining health led them to move to Venice, Florida, to be close to their daughter Cindy and her husband John Snyder. The Gardners are blessed to have 2 grandsons and 4 great-grandchildren. At every opportunity, Harold pays tribute to the loving partnership he and Lottie, who now lives in a nearby memory care facility, enjoyed for so many years. Lottie, he says, was always well loved by the members of my churches and supported my ministry in every way. When we were in the process of moving from one congregation to another, he recalls, one of my church members said to me, "We'll let you move, Harold, but Lottie and Cindy will have to stay here." One of last year's honorees, Dr. Robert Blake of Maysville, offers this capsule summary of his former minister. "Harold Gardner is always the gentleman, always appropriate, always a great pastor and friend. He does, however, have one weakness, an overpowering addiction to University of Kentucky basketball." We are honored to present Harold F. Gardner, a 2007 recipient of the Heroes, Saints, and Legends Award.